Oh, what's happening, my fellow geeks and geekettes? Oh, let me get this off. Happy weekend, everybody. Let me just pull this chat up here. What's going on? I just thought I'd do something a little bit different for the intro, and I'm sporting my Michael Myers coveralls that I just recently uploaded a video on in terms of making these up. So I might just pop you there, Mr. Myers, for now. There we go. Had to do something a little bit different. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, Daniel from Northern Ireland. Wow. Holy shit, man. Welcome, welcome. Guys, welcome. Hope you're having a good weekend. It is Sunday morning, 9 a.m. here. It's Father's Day. So happy Father's Day. Happy Parent Day. Happy Mother's Day to all those parents out there that are celebrating it today. So I'm going to be heading over to mum and dad's later today just for some lunch and drinks and stuff like that. So I thought I'd jump on, do a stream, because again, I want to make this a regular thing. And I love doing them. I really do love doing them. So again, it's Sunday morning here. It's probably Saturday afternoon in other parts of the world, like in LA. I think it's, 4 in the afternoon? I think. Trying to do the conversions and stuff like that. But I hope you guys can hear me okay. So thank you for tuning in. Let me just go back up here. G'day, guys. Hello, everyone. Renz, good morning, Chris. First time watching a live stream. Love your content, more power. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Awesome. Daniel, hi from the Halloween capital of the world. Oh, man, this is awesome. Welcome, guys. Welcome. So with my live streams, I always try to have some topics to talk about and then obviously just do the Q&A, shoot the shit with you guys and talk shit, talk shop, stuff like that. So today we're going to be talking about the cancellation of DC Fandom, which we kind of saw coming in terms of everything that's happened. So I'm using Melon. Melon is the third-party website that I stream through. So I'm going to be doing some screen sharing with the article I'm going off for the cancellation of DC Fandom and the reveal of the new Pinhead from the upcoming Hulu Hellraiser, portrayed by Jamie Clayton. And I'm going to touch on that. Very impressed with it, but I'll also be reading the article about it because there were two other photos shared by, I don't know, it wasn't Entertainment Weekly, I don't think, of the main character, the main star of the Hulu show, and also another Cenobite called The Mask, which is very, very interesting and very cool to look at. So I've got everything set up here. I got my coffee, I got my water, and I want to show you guys something also very cool. So the tips aren't attached at the moment, but what I have here is a Dark Dream design Freddy's Dead The Final Nightmare glove. Now, this isn't my glove. This is a friend of mine, Max, who's in Sydney, and he had the glove shipped to him with the tips separate because that's how we have to have them shipped in Australia so they don't get confiscated. But Max is like, can you put the tips on? So I've just got the tips like jotted in the lower stalls. But this is hands down the most beautiful Freddy's Dead glove I have ever seen. So much so that I've ordered one from Jameson. It's just perfect. Absolutely perfect. Every angle I hit with this glove, it looks like it's from the film. Just the solder patterns, the bends, everything, the chunky solder on the blades, the butter knife blades, everything is there. Not to mention, this is a vintage Wells Lamont leather glove. This thing is probably a couple of years younger than me, and that's what they used on the part 4, 5, and 6 Freddy Krueger gloves for Nightmare 4, 5, and 6, Wells Lamont gloves. So I'm going to be putting that together for Max in the next coming days. Now, what else has been happening? So I've been chipping away at Samurai Spawn, and I've got a foam larp sword, a foam larp samurai sword there. So I've got it with a clip, so it just clips on and off the belt. So it's one of those things where I'd hate to permanently have it there, and you're trying to walk around a crowd and you're bumping into things. So especially case in point with the gauntlets, I've been painting the claws of the gauntlets. These things here bump into everything, the spikes, the shoulder pads, everything. You're essentially like so much more wider when you've got this costume on. So you got to be very aware of your surroundings. I've gone ahead and Velcroed the hood onto the actual face mask so I can literally just lift it up like a welder's helmet when I'm wearing the whole thing. Because once you put it on, those eyes, it's very hard to see. So it's just easier, especially if someone wants photos or I'm doing a photo shoot, to pop the mask up still with the hood on instead of putting the hood off, taking the helmet off, and then, you got to futz around with the hood again. It's just all easy to have it all pop up like a welder's helmet. And then, position yourself and then pop it back down and get in position. Vaped decks, you're going to add the Icon Green Spawn Blood. So I've got, it's mounted on here at the moment. I've got all like a green ink around the tusks. So it's as if the tusks have shot out and he's kind of bleeding. But what I did is I put a UV ink, an invisible UV ink around certain areas. And when you hit it with the black light, it glows blue, unfortunately, because that's just how UV stuff works. But yeah, I was pretty happy with that. So the reason why I got that UV ink, and I showed you guys a very quick teaser of it in last week's stream. I partnered up with PlayStation Australia and I built a Leviathan axe, Kratos's Leviathan axe from God of War. Obviously, the new God of War is coming out. So they're like, you know, do you want to make this axe and then like do a video on it? So I was smashing that out all of last week, as well as the video. So that's all been submitted. The axe has been delivered. They want to go live on the 7th, so in 3 days' time. So hopefully the video should be up by then. I've just got to wait till Monday to get the all clear that the video is fine and nothing needs to be changed and stuff like that. But yeah, I was really happy with how that turned out. It was 3D printed, and I was really happy with how the wood grain turned out, considering it was printed in PLA. So Miles helped out with the 3D print with the bulk of it, and then James Phelan of Feel Good Cosplay helped out with all the little intricate decorative parts he resin printed them. So I can't wait to show you guys that. I'm so proud of that. It was a quick turnaround too. So yeah, anyway, that's what's happening with me at the moment. Again, this is probably going to be a much more shorter stream, but, you know, short and sweet, to the point. Again, we're going to be talking about 2 topics, bit of a Q&A, shoot the shit, and I'm going to head off to Mum and Dad's for Father's Day. So I'm just going to go through a couple of questions here, because what I like to do is like now and then answer a few questions as I'm going through, and then we'll have a Q&A at the end. So Action Hero Cosplay, what's your opinion on the Batgirl film being canned? Huge fan, buddy. Well, thank you very much. It sucks. It sucks, dude. I don't know if you saw the video that the director, I don't want to pronounce their names because I will butcher their names. The directors put a video up with their experience on what happened when the film was cancelled. And apparently they ran to the studio or the editing suite with their phones to go and try and salvage or film whatever they could. And they were locked out. Like the film had apparently been encoded and they couldn't get to it. So I don't know if it's been completely wiped or it's on a hard drive under lock and key, you know, with a fat guy sitting on it. I don't know. But it sucks. It sucks because Keaton was back, and obviously Brendan Fraser's got his renaissance, you know, quite deservingly, because the guy's been through hell the last couple of years, and he was going to play Firefly, and I love the Firefly costume. I don't know if you guys had seen the set photos with it must have been the stunt performer in the Firefly costume on top of the fire truck. It looks sick. It was like steampunk, and there's like copper pipes and everything, and it looked good. It had a lot of potential. It kind of looked a bit CW-ish. But I don't care, man. It's still like a Batgirl film, and Keaton's in it, Brendan Fraser's in it. Like, it sucks. It really does suck. And like, there's probably no way we can see it, and never will see it. If the directors can't see it, like, there's no way in hell we're even going to see like a bootleg version, which sucks. So yeah, I'm a bit shattered about it because everything just seemed really fun about it, and it really is one of those things where it'll go down in history as one of those things where people are like, holy shit, that actually happened. Like, yep, all in the name of a good old fashioned tax write-offs. Hollywood, man. Hollywood. Okay. So what I might do, so we're going to be doing a screen sharing, and hopefully, so I did a test this morning. I always do a test when I'm trying something new on Melon. So I'll do like an unlisted live show. So yeah, David Robinson, opinions. Ezra Miller flash suit, really similar to the Clooney Batman stuff in that it has human proportions built into the suit. Yeah, it looks almost like glossy silicon, and I do believe some parts are actually silicon, but it looks like it has almost like the 2017 Power Rangers suits that Weta made. It has like an energy going through it. It's cool. I just feel the placement of certain lines are a bit out of place, if that makes sense. And keeping in mind, I'm going off the photos from, was it CinemaCon, where the Flash suit and the Supergirl suit were on display. I love the Supergirl suit. That looks great. It doesn't look flattering when, God love her, she's got harnesses and everything under that suit, and it all bulks her out and looks just odd. But the suit just on her without the harnesses looked great. But yeah, I'm going off those photos from, I think it was CinemaCon or whatever it was. I don't even think it was CinemaCon, but they had those suits on display, and it was on like an awkward mannequin. I don't even think it was Ezra Miller, but to see him in it, even though I've only got a few quick flashes of the suit, pun intended, it looks good. Like he wears the cowl well because he has such a beautifully chiseled jaw. Like, that thing is fucking wide, so he looks good in the cowl. It's just the bodysuit itself is a bit different. Again, it'd be one of those things where I need to see it in action, and hopefully we eventually do. So yeah, look, I dig it. It is just a bit different. I do love the Justice League suit though. I really do love all the plating and stuff like that. And when Bruce is in his hideout and he's going through, this is like the same stuff they use on the space shuttle, so it doesn't break up on re-entry. I love all that type of stuff. It has like a purpose instead of just looking, tight and sexy on the body. It's essentially there to save his life, which is cool, which is what I want. It has to have a purpose. Blue Lightning. Hey, I just want to say that my name is Chris too. Hell yeah, man. And I also love cosplaying, but my question is, what is your ideal DC movie if you had the chance to make one? First off, man, I originally wasn't going to be called Chris. I was either going to be Jake or Jack, but apparently I was supposed to be a girl too. And mum and dad were going to call me Amelia Louise. It could have been Amelia Louise cosplay. The ideal DC movie, hands down, Affleck solo Batman film with Manganiello as Deathstroke and get Leto back as the Joker, but completely redesign the character from an aesthetic standpoint, a writing standpoint. I just really think you have to start fresh. So a little bonus thing I want to talk about. There are murmurs that after The Flash eventually comes out, does its thing, does its time, and all that, Affleck and Cavill will be back, but they are going to be restarting everything from scratch with their characters. These are just murmurs at the moment. I've been seeing it a lot on the DC news pages I follow on Instagram, and they're usually very reputable sources. They're not the types that would just put out clickbait bullshit, stuff like that. But it is hinted at that once The Flash is done and dusted and they've wrapped that up and Ezra's gone, Affleck will be back to stay, and so will Cavill, but again, rewriting and restarting with them, which makes me very happy because then there's that notion that we may get his solo film. So Blue Lightning, yeah, to answer your question, 100% his solo film. Absolutely. From what was hinted at in an article about Affleck's script, this big showdown in Gotham was supposed to take place with Batgirl and Deathstroke, and apparently Deathstroke's like psychologically torturing Bruce, going after members of his family. So it sounds intense. It almost sounds, even though Seven is like very much like the Batman, it does sound similar to Seven, but with Affleck as Batman. Yes, that would be great. All right, I'm going to go down just to make sure we're all good. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to share the article about the cancellation of DC Fandom. Just have a quick read of that, touch on that, and then we're going to talk about the newly released image of Jamie Clayton as Pinhead in Hulu's Hellraiser. So if I hit share screen, I'm going to go Chrome tab. Where are we? DC Fandom cancelled. If anything goes astray, guys, I'm sorry. You can't rely on technology, but here we go anyway. There's Donald Trump in The Simpsons. So DC Fandom cancelled in 2022. Warner Brothers Discovery has announced there won't be a DC Fandom event in 2022. The disappointing news came amidst the complete restructuring of the DC Extended Universe, which included the cancelling of multiple productions such as Batgirl and Supergirl and the Wonder Twins movies. I completely forgot about the Wonder Twins movies. Created in 2020 as a way to keep fans hyped during the pandemic, the DC Fandom has two successful editions in which Warner Brothers shared trailers for highly anticipated projects such as Matt Reeves' The Batman and James Gunn's Peacemaker. The event also allowed the cast and crew of major DCEU movies to reveal behind-the-scenes secrets and served as a welcome replacement for all the in-person events that got cancelled due to COVID. So I'm just going to stop sharing there. So that came from the good people over at Collider, as John Campier would say. So Chris, what is our fifth main topic today? So I think we all kind of saw this coming, especially after Shazam and Aquaman have been pushed back. Because essentially, if they did DC Fandom this year, you imagine they all come out on stage, or the hosts come out on stage and they're just twiddling their thumbs and they're like, We got nothing. Here's a guy dressed as Batman. That's it. So it makes sense. And I didn't even realize, I didn't even put two and two together until I just read that article that, yeah, DC Fandom was essentially created because of the pandemic. And it was just to, make people happy, make fans happy with what's coming up, keep people in the loop, and do it all online. And I now think that I'm not going to say things are back to normal. Things will probably never be back to normal after everything that's gone down the last couple of years. I really think that it's eventually not going to be a thing, because we'll get back to, there'll be some semblance of normality in the world. And I think that there won't be a need for it, even though I love DC Fandom. I think it's great. It's fun and exciting, even though half the time I'm sound asleep because it's like 3 a.m., 4 a.m. when they're doing the live things. But it's always cool to wake up and see what's dropped, what trailers dropped, stuff like that. So I do love it from that standpoint. So it sucks, but obviously Warner Brothers must be in absolute damage control right now. And they're trying to reshuffle stuff. They're trying to probably recast things with Ezra. So obviously Ezra has to get help. He's got to do his thing. He's got to do the publicity for it. I don't know if he's going to be actually physically there, or he just won't attend because it's kind of a bad look with what's happened with his past. But at the end of the day, I think obviously they're trying to do everything for the right reason and in the long run, because they've got their 10-year plan. And I think by bringing Affleck and Cavill back, but restarting the timeline with them is part of their 10-year plan, if it all comes to fruition and it all works. So it sucks, but I totally could see it coming, because there were no murmurs about DC Fandom coming up. Like now and then people will post, what's happening with Fandom 2022? And I'm like, oh yeah, what the hell? Like that's usually like now, like they should be gearing up. They should be like putting promos out, trailers, and what to expect and who the hosts are. Nothing, none of that. Because I remember I did do a little bit with Jaden Rodriguez, very good friend of mine last year. He was hosting DC Fandom. He was doing the Australian section. And I went in dressed as Batman when they revealed the new trailer for the Batman. That was a lot of fun. And then the year before, Miss Danny Cosplay and myself interviewed some of the costumers from the CW series, and also Lindy Hemming from the Dark Knight trilogy, which was just amazing. So cool. So cool. So look, I think it's for the greater good. It sucks because it's like nothing. We got nothing, but we've seen everything there is to see for now in terms of, the new Shazam trailer. Aquaman's doing reshoots at the moment. I don't know if they've finished up, but regardless, again, you kind of just got to roll with it. Everything that's happened in the last couple of years, you got to be like, all right, well, I guess that's just how it is. So moving on, we're going to be talking about the newly released image of Jamie Clayton as Pinhead in Hulu's upcoming Hellraiser film. Jamie Clayton is 39 years old. Let that sink in. I've seen photos of her, and genetically blessed. Like, I hope I look that good when I'm 39 years old. She finally shared an image, and then the image did the rounds, as well as two other images of the main actress in the film, as well as another Cenobite called The Mask. So again, I'm just going to screen share for a tick, and I'm going to head on over to Chrome tab, Jamie Clayton, and share. So this is from Entertainment Weekly, if it feels like loading. There we go. Okay, so director David Bruckner. Wait, I don't think I've gone all the way back up. Oh, wait. Yeah, I have. Sorry about that. Okay. So David Bruckner was a teenager when he first saw Hellraiser, the classic 1987 horror movie about a puzzle box and the pain-obsessed interdimensional beings called Cenobites, which are unleashed when someone solves it. So it just goes on essentially about, his history with Hellraiser, how he was a fan of it. And then if we go down here, so the story centers around a character named Riley, who is played by Odessa Azion. I hope I pronounced that correctly. It's the tale of a young woman who is struggling with addiction and compulsive behavior that becomes in contact accidentally with the box, not the box. That would be bad. And unfortunately begins to dabble with it, says Bruckner, and chaos ensues. Some of that chaos will doubtless arrive courtesy of the Cenobite leader Pinhead, the beloved horror character and S&M icon. It was portrayed in the original film and many of its sequels by Doug Bradley. In Bruckner's movie, Pinhead is played by Sense8 actress Jamie Clayton. And if we head on down here, here is a photo of Jamie Clayton in her Pinhead makeup. I think she looks fucking incredible. And I get that people will all, some people will be like, that's not my Pinhead. Doug Bradley will always be my Pinhead. 100%. I get it. Doug Bradley is a phenomenal Pinhead and always will be a phenomenal Pinhead. Even if the later sequels weren't the best, he was always just on point. He was just brilliant. But I'm all for this. I'm all for something new. I'm all for something different. It's not a reboot per se. It's a continuation of the story. And if you go back to the original source material mythology, Pinhead doesn't really have a sex nor a gender. It's male, female, but apparently in Clive Barker's original novella, Pinhead has a female voice, almost childlike. So it makes sense to me. The makeup looks fantastic. Jamie looks fantastic. It almost looks like, and this is sort of a dark image, I've tried to enhance it on my computer when I was fiddling with stuff and looking at it. It looks like she's got parts of the lament box, like coins embedded in her throat, or it could be parts of the markings of Leviathan or something like that. But it looks like strips of her flesh have been torn off on her shoulders, obviously her neck, and there's some sort of webbing and weaving going on there. And it's a great look. Like, can you imagine, instead of wearing like the black leather S&M costume that the Cenobites usually wear, it's all fabricated, like it's all torn off skin, but it looks like a garment? That would be amazing. So I think she looks great. Those contacts look intimidating. Those contacts are an absolute punish to wear because they cover essentially half of your eyeballs. So I can't wait to see what she brings to the table, let alone the whole film itself. And it's not far off. It's only a couple of weeks away. I think it's like the 8th or 9th of October it comes out. So if I scroll down here, again, this is a very dark image. I'm sorry, I'm going off this article. Don't know if that would help or anything. This is a new Cenobite called The Mask. And again, if you look at it closely, there's certain parts of the aesthetic missing where it just wouldn't make sense, like the throat's missing and stuff like that. And just that shot right there looks so eerie. I love it. So, and it says in the caption, "New Cenobite the Mask in Hellraiser." So I'm all for it. I'm all for how this is going to go. I just want something fresh. I just want something that isn't like Hellraiser Deader and stuff like that, because those later sequels after Bloodline were just atrocious. Mind you, when I look at Jamie Clayton as Pinhead, it reminds me of Angelique from Hellraiser Bloodline. I love that design of Angelique with the scalp kind of pulled to the side and it's like wired down to her shoulders. That is an awesome makeup. I would love to see something similar to that in this series. I'm hoping there are a lot more Cenobites. Obviously, we've got a taste of that Cenobite called The Mask. And, oh, wait, there's another one. Goran Versnidjik in Hellraiser. Okay, so he's a character in there. So I'm just going to stop sharing that. If I just go back here. Okay, we're all good. So yeah, I think she looks great. The makeup looks phenomenal. The aesthetic of like torn off flesh. Like I said, imagine that. Imagine like no black leather, or there is some black leather, but for the most part, it looks like a garment of like raw flesh. That's just badass. So be interesting to see if she goes for the subdued demeanor that Doug Bradley has. But yeah, apparently Doug Bradley's all for it. Clive Barker has been heavily involved with this one, which is great because you got to go to the GOAT if you're going to do it right. And apparently it's like rated R for like graphic nudity and gore. So that's how you do Hellraiser. But yeah, guys, let me know in the chat what you guys think of the design. I think it looks great. It looks like Pinhead to me, which is what I wanted. I didn't want something overly different. Even though we have a different actor in the role this time around. Granted, there have been 2 other actors that have portrayed Pinhead, and it's nothing against their acting. They just physically didn't look right, if you know what I mean. If you look at those incarnations of Pinhead, they almost look childlike, and I don't want to sound mean, but like just a bit fuller than Doug Bradley. Because Doug Bradley is, is a very lean, thin man. So it works when you have that. And that's why they used the actor Oliver Smith for the skinless Frank stuff, because Oliver Smith was tiny. So that's why they used him in the first and second Hellraiser, because he just fitted that suit so well and just looked gaunt. And he was just so cool. So cool. So those are the 2 topics essentially talking about Geeks and Geekettes. Again, I always want to have something to talk about just to get the ball rolling, maybe get a chat happening in the chat. But anyway, with that being said, I'm just going to have a sip of coffee. I'm just going to scroll back up and answer some of your questions. We're just going to have a good old Gary chat on a Sunday or a Saturday, wherever you are. Okay, so we've got clowning around. Hey, Chris, wondered what your favorite Batsuit is. Pirate, Tactical Comics, Battinson, etc. Big fan, man. Been watching since 2015 and still learning from you. Well, thank you very much. So probably Pirate Batman is my favorite. Pirate Batman is my baby. If you guys have been following the channel for a while, you know that it's gone through several design changes. The first one, essentially, I had like my Nightmare Batman trench coat because the rest of the suit wasn't ready. And I think it was 2015 or 2016 Oz Comic Con here in Sydney. And I had the V1 cowl with the higher ears and the stitching and stuff like that. And it only went down to like here. It wasn't the Batfleck base that I use now. And I had like a sash around the trench coat. And people really dug it. And then obviously I got the leather armor off Betsy, and then had the custom bat stamp, the skeleton stamp there in the leather. And then I upgraded to the full armor that I use now. And it's one of those things, you know, that saying, an artist's work is never truly done. I feel with this Pirate Batman, I can walk away from and be like, I don't want to add anything else. So Pirate Batman, I think because it's just so near and dear to me, don't get me wrong. Tactical, I haven't even finished yet. And there's no real excuse for that. I just haven't finished it. Some things just happen. Battinson, I do love Battinson, and I am needing to upgrade at the moment, or do the video on upgrading the suit, because I got the new flight suit and I'm going to be using the Hernandez effects cowl. So yeah, definitely Pirate Batman, man. With that being said, actually, and I announced it on my socials the other day, I'm going to be off to Nova Scotia in Canada on the 25th of October. I'm going to be flying out for HowlCon. I'm going to be a guest at HowlCon in beautiful Nova Scotia, Canada, in Halifax. I'm very excited. I'm going to be taking Eddie Munson and Pirate Batman, and possibly Nathan Drake. I'll see how I go. So yeah, I'm going to have to really try and pack down Pirate Batman. Keeping in mind, I've taken Pirate Batman to Kuwait in the Middle East, so it's doable. But also when you got like Eddie Munson stuff, because there's a lot of like, you know, the jacket and stuff like that. So got to finish up Eddie too, got to get the wig. So it's just going to be probably a mad dash for the next several weeks until I fly out. But yeah, thanks very much for your comment, man. I appreciate that. So Mr. Clown 10. What's with the clowning around and the clowns? The clowns are coming to watch the clown. Will you be doing a Green Arrow cosplay? If so, what suits would you do? Unfortunately, man, I have not dabbled in the Arrowverse. I've watched 2 episodes back in 2013. They were fine. Like, I didn't have a problem with them. I thought they were quite good. I just think I think I'm too far gone. Like with the whole CW stuff, I don't watch The Flash. I don't watch Green Arrow, Supergirl, Superman, and Lois. I think because it's such a big commitment, and I just don't have the time. Like there's not enough hours in the day, because I'm always just working on something, whether it's video stuff, commissions, campaigns, stuff like that. And then also trying to be like, what am I going to do this week on the channel? And it's kind of like Trey Parker and Matt Stone. They write and make a episode of South Park in a week. And when they start, they're like, we don't know what we're doing. We don't know what their episode's going to be airing next week. It's kind of like that. And I kind of like it. It like forces you to think on your feet. So to answer your question, I will not be, I'm afraid, man. So yeah, I'm going to be honest. I just don't watch Arrow. I do love his costumes. You see them on display at Comic-Con now and then. You see some cracker Arrow cosplays too. And I'm just going to leave it to those guys and gals and all that do it well. So Jack Crofts Mullen, are you aware of Jason David Frank's new movie Legend of the White Dragon? Would love your opinion on the suit. So we chatted about that last week. Funny enough, someone asked about that. Now correct me if I'm wrong, is that where he's teamed up with Bat and the Sun for that? So Jason David Frank, who played Tommy in the Power Rangers, the White Ranger, the Great Ranger. I have seen the suit. It looks great. Like it looks really badass, and it looks like it serves a purpose, and it's not just spandex. So I think it looks good, man. Is that a crowdfunded thing? Like, is it out now? I'll probably just give it a quick Google after this, because I would like to see it. And like I said last week, I love the fact that he's staying so true to the character of Tommy, and he's embracing it, like, you know, how Robert Englund embraces being Freddy. And very random, if you guys have ever seen Scary Movie, the guy that plays Doofy, Special Officer Doofy, he goes to cons as a guest dressed as Doofy in character. Like, I love that. That's so cool. People get a jonesing out of it when he gets photos and he's, salute, stuff like that. It's great. So yeah, I'll have to check it out, man. I've really just got to Google it because I keep seeing images of it and I keep forgetting if Bat and the Sun are sharing it, if they're in cahoots with him doing it, if they're filming it. I'm guessing it was probably like a crowd-funded GoFundMe thing. All righty, let's cruise on down here, see what else is happening. Also, did you guys, pardon me, just choked on my own excitement. Did you guys see Keaton's bat suit for The Flash or Batgirl has leaked out in stores as kids' costumes in like Walmart and stuff? It's fucking hilarious. Someone filmed in, I'm guessing it was Walmart or Target or somewhere, because you guys don't have Kmart anymore in the States, I believe. Yeah, they've got like kids' costumes of Keaton's new costume. So I'm like, how the hell do you screw that up? And I was chatting to someone and they're like, it's one of those things logistically where you're concentrating on so many other things of the cancelled film that you forget about one bit of merchandise that just happens to ship out. It's hilarious. I kind of want to get one. I have a feeling they may be a bit of a rarity or something, or they've made like 1 billion of them. Still, I'd want one because it's kind of got a cool story behind it. Okay, Richie Boone. Earlier today, I made a Tarman mask for Return of the Living Dead. It's made out of a cheap dollar store skull mask with a movable jaw. Hell yeah, man. I love the Tarman. I love that scene. It's so cool. And I remember being like in my early teens, going all on the old horror forums, and people would have the Tarman mask. I'm trying to think off the top of my head if Justin Mayberry of Night Owl did a Tarman. Someone did a Tarman mask and it was so legit. But that's cool, man. I love that. I love going to Spotlight and seeing all the Halloween decorations and seeing like the mask. And I'm like, what can I make out of this? What can I do? So you're on the same wavelength, man. That's brilliant. And it's ingenious. It's, using your skills. Love it. Okay. Let me just cruise on down here. Talk amongst yourselves, guys. Sorry, I'm just playing catch up. Hey, maybe you've already answered this before, but what was your opinion of Batfleck returning in Aquaman 2? I was so excited. So excited, man. As soon as I saw that video of Momoa on the backlot at Warner Brothers, and he walks into Affleck's trailer, and it says on the front in printed paper, BA, walks in, and Affleck's there like with his lunch, and he's just like, oh, he's on the phone in his Bruce Wayne suit, and then they got that selfie. As soon as I saw Affleck with his Bruce Wayne wig on, I'm like, he's back. He's back. And then Momoa was doing press for, I forget what he was doing press for. They're interviewing him on a red carpet. And someone's like, what are your thoughts? Affleck's back for reshoots for Aquaman 2. What are your thoughts? And he's like murmuring. He's like, oh, fuck it. Ben's back. I was like, straight from the goat, straight from the horse's mouth. So, you know me, man. I'm a big Batfleck fan, so I'm all for it. Like I mentioned before, there are murmurs that after The Flash is done, Affleck and Cavill are back for good, here to stay, but they're going to be starting everything from scratch in terms of their characters, their origins. Well, not their origins per se, but what we've seen so far. Apparently, they're going to just forget that, which I don't really think that's the best idea. Like, BVS had its issues, but Affleck, sorry, I've got to pop this collar. Affleck was great in it, and it was essentially a show reel for what he could do in his own solo film as Batman. Then Justice League came out in 2017 and completely butchered his character, but then we got Zack Snyder's Justice League, which restored his characterization and restored him as a damn good Batman and damn good Bruce Wayne. So I feel there's no need to start again. But again, I'm all for it, man. Absolutely all for it. Aaron Clark. Oh my God. Hi, Chris. I'm such a huge fan and I love everything. I love everything you do. Keep up the amazing work. Well, thank you very much, Aaron, and thank you for joining. These are a new thing I'm doing at the moment. I love live streaming. Actually, I want to start live streaming when I'm working on stuff, but I want it to be stuff that's not like boring. Like if I don't know, there is some stuff I do where it needs my full attention, but if I'm like painting something or like even like behind the scenes of when I'm doing a custom collectible and I've got my DSLR camera there and I'm trying to line the shot up, but also talking to you guys, because most times out of 10, I don't need to talk in the shots because I'll record my shitty commentary later on towards the end of the editing process. So I think it'd be cool just to set maybe this up, the laptop up, out in the kitchen on my bench where I do a lot of my finer work, stuff like that. If I'm casting up some Michael Myers hands, or even take the laptop and set it up in the workshop, finishing him off, stuff like that. I think it'd be cool to do a workshop live stream as well. If you guys are keen, please let me know in the chat. It's something I definitely want to dabble with, maybe like a midweek thing. I don't know. Again, it's just more of a reason to interact with you guys. Then yeah, I'm all for it. Chromatic Man, Batgirl will still get released maybe in a multiverse movie retelling of Final Crisis. Very well could be. So the young lady who plays Batgirl, apparently, like, she's not done. She still will be involved with other films. It's just the film she was in for the first time as Batgirl is just not going to happen. So it's Leslie Grace. It's a Leslie Grace. She's still Batgirl. As far as I'm aware, yeah, she's still Batgirl, man. So definitely, like, if they're going to do the whole No Way Home thing and do like the multiverse thing, which obviously they're doing with Keaton and Affleck with the Flash, hell yeah. Like, I definitely want to see that. Okay. Vaped Dex. It's like when Spider-Man No Way Home suit got leaked by the toys. Yeah, exactly, man. I was in Kmart yesterday, my local Kmart, and they've started to it's not leaking out, but the new Spider-Verse film, the toys are starting to come out now, and they're only, pardon me, I always get gassy during live streams. I talk too much, I get gassy. Yeah, they're only like these tiny little figures, and it's one was regular Spidey and one was Miles Morales. None of the other suits at the moment. But yeah, they're slowly starting to trickle into shops. Okay. Sorry, talk amongst yourselves. Okay. Sorry, guys. Bill H, have you been watching Sandman? Would you do a cosplay of him? These live videos are great. Well, thank you so much, man. I have not watched Sandman. Again, time is of the essence with me, unfortunately. Geeks and Geekettes, yeah, because I'm a flat chat during the week because I'm my own boss. I don't have people working for me, especially like last couple of weeks, especially with the Leviathan Axe for PlayStation, and now I'm about to start a project for Amazon Prime for the Rings of Power. I'm going to do a tutorial video based around that, which is going to be a lot of fun. So I've got to literally start 3D printing stuff and get to work on that. So yeah, it's flat chat, man. Just trying to find the time is hard, and also be invested, because, you know, a lot of times with the first couple of episodes of a series, someone says, you got to give it a chance. I'm like, you're not selling it to me. I think that's why I've foregone a lot of series, because people are like, you got to give the first season a chance. I'm like, so you're saying I have to watch the whole season and I may think it's still shit, but I've got to give it a chance? Like, yes. I'm like, no, come on. I have seen that mask, though, that kind of gas mask with the spine pipe. That looks badass. Like, that's fucking sick. I've seen people do some cracker cosplays of that. Alison Tabitha did a Sandman cosplay a few weeks ago, and she always looks incredible. Alison Tabitha is the fucking goat, man. She's a chameleon. She can Raphael Teodoro, I hope I pronounced that correctly, man. Chris is live. Hell yeah, man. Thanks for joining. Okay, I'm trying to not butcher your name, sir. Andres Benjamin Bedoya Osorio. That was a mouthful. Hey, Chris, I'm doing my first cosplay as Robin. It's a mix between Forever and Teen Titans. So what is your advice for beginners in the cosplay world? As I always say, man, just have fun with it. Don't make it a chore. And the fact that you're mixing something up, you can have so much fun with it. And then you can add your own little tidbits here and there. I think it's a great idea. I think it's a good mashup. I love the Batman Forever Robin suit that O'Donnell wore. I think it's so beautiful. Those colors and the design. Look, I've never really had a problem with the nipples, but, like, you know, they don't really need to be there, but whatever. That was Schumacher's choice. I think it's a great idea, and a mix of the Teen Titans. So yeah, that could be a lot of fun, man. Like, are you going to be doing the short sleeves and, you know, skin and then green gloves? So yeah, that'll be very interesting, man. But again, just have fun with it. Have fun with it. Make sure that it always helps for me to have stuff in front of me. So I'll print a lot of stuff out and, like, put it up on a board or something like that, and be like, okay, what works best? What can I put together that's going to translate well to a 3-dimensional costume. Granted, you know, O'Donnell's one was, but, you know, with Teen Titans, it's animation. Or are you going off the Titans series? Either way, just do your thing, man. Have fun with it. If something doesn't look or feel right, change it. Trust me. Otherwise, when you're done and you're wearing it, you're like, oh, I should have changed that. Go that extra mile, that little bit extra to make that change and stuff like that, dude. So, and if you feel like it's just, you're not feeling it at the moment, put it down, walk away for a couple of hours, couple of days, whatever. Go for a run, go train, go hang out with friends, go get something to eat. If you feel you're starting to burn out with it, walk away. I can't stress that enough. Burnout with cosplay is like a massive thing. It's a thing in itself, and it can be a horrible beast. Granted, I still get it. I got it with Samurai Spawn, even though I said it was going to be one of those things where I would work on it in my own time. And at one point, I didn't even want to look at it. I think because I had so much going on, I'm like, oh, I got to finish you too. But we're here now. We're 3 and a bit weeks out from Oz Comic Con Sydney. So I have no choice, but in the best way possible, because I want to finish this. I don't know if you guys saw that demo video I put up 2 days ago of me wearing it. I really am loving where it's heading. Can't wait to finish it off and then do, the photos and the videos and stuff like that. So really proud of this one. And, good things take time. So, and it's hard for me to be fully proud of something that I've made. Just typical brooding artist. Okay. Love your videos. Well, thank you, Movie Clips. Thank you very much. Mr. Clown 10, what do you think about She-Hulk if you've watched it? I've watched episode 1. I haven't watched episode 2 or 3. It was fine. It was nothing really groundbreaking, to be honest. I've seen the post-credit scene for the 3rd episode, and I was like, what's going on? Why are we doing this? Like, it's fun. And it's more lighthearted. And I do like the dialogue between her and Mark Ruffalo's Hulk. It's fun. Again, it's nothing really groundbreaking, man. So I think it's just another Marvel series, but it still looks fun, and it is fun. And that's what I got from episode 1 anyway. So I probably should get around to watching the next 2 before episode 4 comes out. All right, let me cruise on down here. Okay. Where are we? Hang on. 95. And ever gonna make a Batman Beyond or Blue Beetle cosplay? Would like to see how you tackle the cowl mouth. I'm not a fan of Batman Beyond, man, the design of that. The series, however, is great. I'm not a fan of this suit. And it's a tough one to do as a cosplay, as a physical costume. Like, if they were doing it in a film, they'd have the cowl and with the mocap dots and stuff like that, and that animate it, and kind of like what they did with Deadpool, with Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool, subtle movements of the eyes later added with visual effects. Blue Beetle, yes, holy shit, that is how you translate a costume from a comic book to film. The costume looks great. I want to get the DO 3D helmet file and do a video of, sanding it, prepping it, painting it, stuff like that. Because it'd be a really cool helmet to have. It's beautiful. The whole suit is gorgeous. When you look at it, when you look at the original source material, I think it looks cracker. Absolutely cracker. It looks beautiful. So I would definitely love to do something Blue Beetle related, man. The whole suit, that's a big build. But maybe the helmet, just do a tutorial on that. Yeah, absolutely. That'd be fun to do. Like to have on display with the light up eyes. Absolutely. Absolutely. Vaped Dex, do you think they'll ever do another Green Lantern? Yes, 100%. I think they will. Who's going to be the Green Lantern? I have no idea. I forget the actor's name that they had originally for Zack Snyder's Justice League, and they filmed the footage of him in Zack's front driveway with the green screen and the green light illuminating, and he had the mocap suit on, and then Zack showed a photo at a con somewhere of the finished look. He looked incredible. I don't know why they didn't keep him in the original cut of the Snyder cut, but I think they will. I think they kind of owe it to themselves after the Ryan Reynolds one, and I totally forgot Taika Waititi was in that film. He looks so different. Either way, good segue. Peter Hulse. Hey, Chris, what did you work on Thor, Love and Thunder? So I put together the Dark Shadow Lord that was at in the prologue of the film, where Christian Bale's gore trekking through the desert, and then we see what happens to his daughter, and then he finds that god in that paradise, and the god's like, we're celebrating a kill, and he points, and it's the Dark Shadow Lord that was originally wielding the Necro sword. So my job, essentially, I went into Odd, and it was beautifully designed in 3D by Colin Ware, and it was 3D printed at a place called Delta here in Sydney that does big 3D prints. So all up, I think he's about close to 7 foot if he were to stand up. It'd be because he was printed in like the dead crouching kind of way. It'd be about 6'5", but these big pieces of PLA were laid out, and I got to the studio, and my job was essentially to build the structure inside, put him together, and then you do the body work. And because he's got a lot of scarification, much in the vein of Drax, you have to marry everything up and then go back in and kind of refine everything, because you do lose detail when you're doing the body work. And because there are a lot of chunky print lines, what we did is we got tissue paper and PVA and laid down the tissue paper with the PVA. And what that does is it creates a skin effect. And what happens when, after you die, like with the body, your skin thins out, or as you get older, your skin thins out. And that's kind of, it worked really well because Dark Shadow Lord had just died. You know, energy had been sucked from him, and like the skin was all shriveled and everything, and it worked really well. And it helped cover the print lines instead of trying to sand away chunky PLA, which I'd still probably be there sanding if I was sanding it by hand. And then we had to have him split in two for easy transport to Fox Studios, which is 10 minutes from the studio. And then he was going to be dressed by the costumers, and then swords were put in his gut and everything because he'd just been killed. But before that, he was painted brilliantly by Damian Martin of Odd Studio, who made him like an iridescent oil slick. That was the kind of paint scheme they were going for. So that was my involvement, man. I was there for 2 weeks at Odd, and we also had Christian Bale's stunt double come in, and we live cast his torso so we could do all the scarification for when he was doubling for Bale. I saw a lot of Gore's makeup being created, which was really just beautiful and special to see. They had Christian's head scan there, and they were trying to figure out how to do the layout of his original tattoos before he rips them off and has all the scarification, the flat gray tattoos. They're trying to figure out, how do we place these flat, because, you know, it's going to go to the contour of a head. How does that look flattened out? And they were trying to stencil and do templates. They were creating silicone feet for him because he was barefoot in the film, but for safety reasons, he had to wear silicone feet with like soles in them, just for safety reasons and insurance and stuff like that. What else? I saw a lot of the boo scans, the owl race that's at the beginning of the film that's having the fight with Thor and the Guardians. I saw a lot of the boo scan stuff going on there, and like the boo scans look badass and sick, and they weren't utilized enough. Apparently so much more stuff was shot with them. Talking with some of the Odd crew who would go to set. Yeah, a lot more stuff was shot, and unfortunately, I think with that film, a lot of stuff was taken away and left on the cutting room floor, because it's like an hour 55. That's short for a Marvel film, man. So that was my involvement. And yeah, it was really insightful and learned a lot, actually. So it was good. And yeah, it was flat chat for 2 weeks, but it was totally worth it. Okay. And thanks for your question, by the way, man. Okay. Renz Tolentino, what are your upcoming custom collectible projects? Love those videos. I've been binging them since I discovered your channel 2 years ago. So upcoming at the moment, oh, he's behind Freddy. There's like a quarantine Batman from McFarlane Toys. I'm going to be doing the Popsicle Stick House from Elm Street 3. I'm going to be doing the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles diorama that's going to be encased in the vintage television. And I would like to do a Spider-Man one. Again, man, I'm not saying when they're going to come out. It's when I have time. And that's obviously what's worked best for me now. I've foregone announcing cosplays each year, like at the beginning of the year, because sometimes you set yourself up for a disappointment. In, you know, case season 2 of Witcher, Geralt Armor, I said I was going to do that, didn't end up doing that because things change, man. So that's in the pipeline at the moment. I've got my whiteboard here. I've also got the Disease King Shazam, Virus Batman, yep, TMNT diorama, Spider-Man. Prop videos, Elm Street Popsicle Stick House, the Elm Street 3D poster that I'm working on at the moment with the skull and the bone claw, finishing the Part 6 Freddy bust, which is halfway molded here. He's covered in silicone at the moment. So this coming week, hopefully I'll do the fiberglass shell. Myers coveralls, they're done and dusted. The video went up 2 days ago. Finish off the Batman batsuit, we're upgrading that. The Phantom, I got to do the photo shoot and the video shoot for that. Samurai Spawn and Eddie Munson. So yeah, that's what's happening. Movie themed videos, top 10 effects kills in Elm Street, ranking the Freddy gloves, ranking the bat suits, live shows, which you're doing right now. Top 10 effects kills in Halloween and top 10 effects kills in Friday the 13th. And I also want to do the top 10 effects kills in the Hellraiser series. Because even though the movies, some of the movies aren't the greatest towards the end, there's still some beautiful special effects in there. So yeah, that's in the pipeline. Again, pending my schedule, man, with commissions, Etsy orders, campaigns. It's obviously when I can, but obviously I try to get a video out once a week as well as these live shows, just to, you know, keep the flow, keep the momentum. I think overall that works best if you have a channel. Okay. So let me just cruise on down here. Oh, my dear friend, Adam Kota, dude, I'm hoping I pronounced that correctly. Sends in $20. Thank you so much, man. Guys, again, if like I said last week, if you head over to Adam's Instagram, go check out his beautiful art he does. He's actually working on Harley Quinn at the moment. Hey, man, just popped in for a quick one. Got to head off in a few. Your next custom collectible is on me. Cheers. Oh, dude, you're the best. Thank you so much, man. Tell you what, if I put that towards the next custom collectible, man, that custom collectible is yours. I think that's only fair. Thank you, man. That's very cool of you. Vate Dex, Chris, what are your thoughts? Kind of hinting at another Sinister Six in the MCU with Venom, Vulture, and Morbius meeting. Craven solo movie coming out. Craven, I'm looking forward to because I love Aaron Taylor Johnson. He's a fucking awesome actor, and he looks the part. I've seen the set photos with his long hair, and he's jacked. The guy's always jacked though, so I'm looking forward to that. I don't think they'll go the route of Craven's Last Hunt. I think that's it. In terms of the Sinister Six, yeah, especially at the end of Morbius, where they had Vulture meet up with Morbius. I don't know if they're going to bring Jared Leto back or anything's going to happen again after that. We'll see. But if it means Sinister Six, yeah, of course. I definitely love to see that, but it has to be done right and in a tasteful way. But that post-credit scene with Vulture meeting up with Morbius was so forced and the dialogue was so shonky. It's just... But again, it was Morbius. Mr. Clown 10, Chris, I got to know, will you do more The Crow cosplay stuff like in your own style? Yeah, definitely. I think it's a bit tricky now, obviously, because I've cut my hair. Obviously, you know, just get a wig, but it'd have to be a really good wig. You know, it's got to look the part. I'm doing a gig at Luna Park this year for Hello Scream, and I'm going to be doing the Crow makeup, but I'm probably going to do my hair black and do it in a mohawk, which will be a bit of fun. So I definitely would be interested. I am eager to see how Bill Skarsgård looks as the Crow. I might do a cosplay on that. Who knows? I think he's going to look wicked. He's got that beautiful facial structure. And with that makeup on, I think he'll look great. I think he'll look absolutely brilliant. Joseph Productions. Chris, do you think we will ever get a new TMNT live action reboot? I really hope so. I know we're getting a new animated one that Seth Rogen's doing. But when it's animated, I don't want to sound mean, but I kind of just lose interest. I'm like, there's something so special about the 1990 film. And you know that you've done right when your suits from a film in 1990, your costumes from a film in 1990 look better than animation in 2015 or 2014 and 2015. When did the first one come out? The first live action, the Michael Bay one, 2015, I think. When your suits, your practical suits look better than state-of-the-art CGI, that's when you've done good. And I would love to see that. I don't want to see this whole mocap bullshit. I want animatronic suits like what Henson and his crew did. Like, tech has evolved so much now with animatronics, makeup, foam latex, silicon, stuff like that. You can make things look so good. It's like, oh God, forgive me, because I don't watch Death Note. The creature in Death Note, that practically looked brilliant, even though they cleaned it up digitally. it was subtly done, but it was a physical prop. Yeah, I don't know. I think if you did a suit, if you did the suits with and they corrected certain areas with VFX subtly. VFX works either when it needs to be done for backgrounds and stuff like that, or when it's subtle and it's blended in and you don't even know about it until they do the making of. They're like, yeah, we enhanced it digitally. I think that's the best way to go about it. But don't make them like these roid raging hulky guys. You got to bring it back. You got to bring it back to look at the 1990 suits, even the Secret of the Ooze suits, not Ninja Turtles 3, because they look like frogs in Ninja Turtles 3. They look ridiculous because it was a different company that took over. Jim Henson didn't want to do it, I think, because they had a limited budget and they just couldn't pay Jim Henson's crew what originally they wanted. So, yeah, it's I think it needs to be done, but it needs to be done properly. If it's practical suit, fine. Animatronic, sure. Clean it up digitally. Just enhance certain features here and there. If the animatronic can't achieve a certain, way the mouth moves, I'm all for it. If it's done perfectly and it blends well with the practical, and just take it back to its roots. Because you read the original first issue of the Ninja Turtles, it's violent, it's graphic, it's gory, and the turtles kill Shredder. Like, like similar to what happens at the end of the first film. And the first film was dark and graphic. And I remember my mum and dad wouldn't let me watch it for quite some time. They let me watch Secret of the Ooze in 3, but they wouldn't let me watch the 1991 for quite some time because it was quite full on and quite violent. And a lot of parents complained, and that's why we got the watered down versions of, Secret of the Ooze in number 3, and they hardly use their weapons because parents complained. But I'm like, have you read the original comics? They're violent, man. So I would love to see another live action film. Sorry, I went off on a tangent there. Okay. Nick O'Leary. Hi, Chris. Any thoughts on doing a cosplay as Sandman from the Netflix show? So someone already asked that before, funnily enough. So I haven't watched the show yet, man. Like I said, I do love the mask that he has in the show. Just that gas mask, that Dr. Death looking gas mask with the spine pipe. I just have that and make that, even though I'm like, I haven't watched the show, but that's a cool looking prop. I'm like that with a lot of movies and shows that I haven't watched. I'm like, that's a cool costume or a cool prop. I'd have that, even though I've never watched it. Okay. Alaric Klingstrom. Have you thought about doing a Jason Voorhees cosplay? Maybe your own version of it. I'd love to. I just don't feel like I'm tall enough. I'm 5'9" and Jason's like 7 foot. So I definitely have a lot of fun with it. Imagine the amount of shoe polish and driveway dirt on that suit. It'd be ridiculous. MB Dyson 829, pepperoni nunchucks and TMNT. Oh, dude. Combat cold cuts, for fuck's sake. But when I was a kid, I thought that was the funniest and coolest thing ever. So much so, Mum bought sausages one night for dinner, and I got the sausages still tied together and was swinging them around like that, and I got in a lot of trouble for that. Sorry, Mum. Let me just cruise on through, see what's going on here. Chromatic Man, dude, like Hellboy used makeup and practical. Exactly, 100%. Because did they do that for Abe Sapien? Doug Jones is Abe Sapien. I think so. Testing limits, unpopular opinion. I love the 1998-ish Ninja Turtles Next Mutation series. I agree, man, because that was like nostalgia for me. That was my childhood. And like the fact that we got a live action Ninja Turtles show, I shit myself. It's like, yeah, but yes, I'm all for it. Looking back on it now, it hasn't aged so well, but it's still kind of good. I really like it. Some of the villains in it are just batshit crazy. And even though they're very clean, I like the designs of those turtles and the different types of bandanas. Oh God, I think Donnie, was it Raph that has the full-blown skull kind of bandana, and there's different iterations. Like, that's very clever to me. I like that from a design standpoint. So I agree with you, man. That, like, it's still kind of like so bad it's good, because I believe it was Saban. I think they were made by Saban that made the Power Rangers and all that. So it was like the Goosebumps version of and Power Rangers version of the Ninja Turtles. It's just fucking lame. Aaron Clark, hey man, if you could work on any Marvel, DC, or horror movie, what would it be and why? Marvel? Ooh, maybe another Cap movie. DC, Batman. Something Batman. Just anything DC, really, just to be a part of that universe. And if it's helping, create costume, props, stuff like that, yes, absolutely. Horror movie, Elm Street. If they did a direct sequel to the first Elm Street, my God, I would just love to be involved in any way, shape, or form. Even doing just like a campaign for it for socials and stuff like that. I'm hounding a PR company at the moment. They've been very patient with me about doing campaigns for Halloween ends. I just want to be a part of it. Like vice versa, when the Batman came out, I did some campaigns for that because I just wanted to just be involved and look back on it. When I'm an old man, be like, hey, I did this, I did that, I was a part of that. And, with your question, yeah, 100%, man. If they did a remake of Elm Street, like a direct sequel, like I did a video, my direct sequel pitch for Elm Street. Start fresh, forget that part 2 onwards happened, or even do a direct sequel to Dream Warriors, because Dream Warriors is great. I just love to be involved. It'd be so good. But we've got Mr. Dave Mcrae now portraying Freddy in Dylan's New Nightmare with Miko Hughes. So that's a fan film. It's going to be a sequel to Wes Craven's New Nightmare. And Miko Hughes, who played Dylan in Wes Craven's New Nightmare, is going to be starring in it. And Dave Mcrae, Mr. Dave Mcrae himself, is going to be portraying Freddy Krueger. So I believe they're going to be shooting in November out in Phoenix, Arizona. I can't wait. I'm so excited to see how Dave looks. Apparently, he got his teeth cast the other day for the dentures, and then he'll get his life cast soon. I'm really keen for it. He actually did a watch along of Wes Craven's New Nightmare with Miko and Cecil, the director. And it was great. It's a good watch. If you don't follow Dave Mcrae, you guys probably do if you watch my shit. Go check it out. It's actually a really good watch. And, they're doing the commentary while they're doing the watch along. And it's really cool that Miko Hughes is there because he was in the goddamn film. And he remembers quite a lot, actually. For being a little kid on that film, he remembers quite a lot. So for now, we've got Dave Mcrae as Freddy Krueger. Okay, let me just cruise on down here. Yosef Productions, would you ever consider making a cosplay of the original Darth Vader concept art? Not the costume per se, man. I would love to have a crack at, getting a 3D file of the Ralph McQuarrie original Vader helmet. It's thinner and like sharper, and like the grill and gaskets are a lot more elongated. I've seen people do 3D prints of them and finish them up, and they look incredible, like really cool. Unpopular opinion, I kind of not prefer, but I really lean more towards Ralph McQuarrie's original concept of Vader's look. I don't know, there was something so evil and sinister about the leaner, longer kind of look of the helmet, and almost samurai-like. Like he does kind of home back to being a samurai with how he looks now, but I think the original leaner look was just a lot better. So if anything, man, I'd probably just have a crack at the helmet, to be honest. Mr. Clown 10, hey Chris, will you do a video of you trying to do Chris Hemsworth's workout for when he does Thor? Yeah, if you guys like watching me throw up, 100%, absolutely, man. Mind you, like he's like genetically blessed, so like he's got that perfect blank canvas for getting jacked. So, like, when the hell is he going to be filming this Hulk Hogan movie too? Like, he's got to get jacked again for that. I don't actually know what his workout is. It's funny, like a lot of actors, their trainers as well, kind of fudge the workout when they release it publicly. Especially like with Ryan Reynolds' workout for Blade, I think they kind of just tiptoed around what he actually did. You don't know if it's true or yeah. Ryan Marquez, hello, man, welcome. I do DIY cosplay with cardboard. Hell yeah, man! You can do a lot of stuff with cardboard. I've seen people do armor builds with cardboard, and the way they've painted it looks incredible. It looks like actual like steel, like rusted steel. Brandon Gomez, I know I suggested this on Insta, but you got to do a Vecna custom collectible, man. I agree. I 100% agree, man. There are some crackerjack 3D files going around. Yeah, I actually I might add that to my list on my whiteboard actually. So thank you, man. Yeah, I do it as a bust. There are some really cool 3D files of like a really nice Vecna bust and resin print him or have it printed at FactFox and like, all right, let's do the body work, let's prime it and the painting process, and maybe even try with certain glow effects like UV actual paints, like your oranges and yellows and stuff like that, and put a black light on and have certain parts glow. I think that'd be really cool. Okay. Adam, you asked, do you have a Halloween special episode planned? Like I've got content planned around Halloween, if that's what you mean, man. So obviously I'll be doing my review of Halloween Ends because it comes out here on October 13th. I'm assuming the premiere is either going to be the 12th or the 11th, whether it's a Tuesday or Wednesday, and then the film officially comes out on the Thursday. So I'll be doing my, spoiler-free review, give it a couple of days, and then do a spoiler review. I might just do a live stream, like spoiler talk live stream. It's so much more easy just to jump on and just talk instead of, oh shit, I got to remember to say X, Y, and Z, and then go to edit the video and realize you forgot to say X, Y, and Z. Either way. But yeah, I do have top 10 effects kills for the Elm Street, the Halloween, Friday the 13th, and Hellraiser series planned. That'd be a lot of fun. I do want to do that with other YouTubers. I'd like to do, some of them with Frank and Darren of Slaughtered Lamb, Jimmy Champagne, maybe We Watched a Movie. I think it'd just be a lot of fun. I love collaborating with those guys because I adore them. I adore what they do. I adore their content, and I adore them as people. They're just wonderful people. So that's what's in the pipeline, dude. Like build wise, like props, the Elm Street 3 popsicle stick house. That's going to be a big build. I've actually got to go to my local art store and buy some foam core and do some template tests to get my templates right for the measurements and all that type of stuff to make sure it all is going to look good and aesthetically pleasing. Okay. Owl Watch, which Marvel suit do you like? Do you like the least? I didn't like Scarlet Witch's ending scene outfit in Age of Ultron. And I don't like the new cap suit, or at least how the neck piece looks. I don't like the cap suit from the first Avengers, man. That's it. Yeah, it's just too plain and too like Boy Scouty, like, salute, sir. Just nah. It was weird. And it didn't look like it would really protect him, even though there's like plating going on under there. I didn't really do anything for me. It looked a bit silly, if that makes sense. So definitely cap suit from the first Avengers, man. Okay, let me cruise on down here. Christy Net or Christy NET. Hey, Chris, do you think Batman 2 with Pattinson will appear or it's cancelled? No, it's happening 100%. The funny thing is at CinemaCon, Matt Reeves came out and he's like, yep, it's happening. We're doing it. We're writing it now. And then Warner Brothers came out a few weeks later and they're like, we haven't greenlit it yet. I'm like, what's taking you? Like, the film was a smashing success. Overall, it was well received. What are you doing twiddling your thumbs for? Get to work. But now they're like, yeah, it's happening. Matt Reeves is writing it with his co-writer. I forget I don't know off the top of my head the co-writer's name. But there are murmurs that possibly Mr. Freeze is going to be in this one. I do know Pattinson wants the Court of Owls to appear in the second one. But no, they wouldn't cancel it. Can you imagine, like, the audacity to cancel the Batman 2? Like, that would be seriously a dick move on their behalf, but they wouldn't. But yeah, as far as I know, it's being written at the moment. I think they're aiming for 2024, which is just so far away. Yeah, I just, yeah, I can't fathom like what I'll be doing in 2024. Probably this, and I'm happy with that. Marcos, what's your favorite Spider-Man suit? I'm going to go the OG Tobey Maguire suits, man. Yeah. And I think also because that's one of the reasons why I wanted to get into costuming and prop building. When that first Spider-Man came out in 2002, and that suit was just beautiful with what Studio ADI did with the raised webbing, the lenses, and it's so seamless and beautiful. Not a fan of Andrew Garfield's suits. I do like Tom Holland's Spidey suits. They're cool. I just think Maguire's ones are brilliant. Even the black suit, even Venom looked good in Spider-Man 3, what we saw of him. It's like that much. But yeah, Maguire's suit, dude. Probably from Spider-Man 2. I think by Spider-Man 2, they perfected the tech and the color. The color just seems a lot more rich, like with the blues and reds and stuff like that, and the muscle shading. And that was a big deal back then. You know, they did all the screen printing by hand, and now it's kind of all done on computer. But yeah. Joseph Productions, I just realized that you're wearing the Michael suit. I thought you were just dirty. Yeah, man, had a rough night last night. Christ, someone shot me, and here I am live streaming. That's how dedicated I am. No, if you caught the beginning of the stream, I was wearing the mask just to frighten the shit out of everyone. So, and yeah, I just figured I'd just wear him because I put the video up a couple of days ago. Mad Dragon 1973. Morning, Chris. I just want to thank you for all the inspiration with your videos. I never thought shoe polish could make stuff look so cool. Neither did I, man, but thank you so much for the kind words. And yeah, bloody shoe polish, who'd have thought, huh? And funny enough, that actually goes back to my glove building days, Freddy Krueger glove building days, where I used to color the copper, the brass, and the leather glove with shoe polish. And I was young, and I was like running around the house trying to find what the hell can I color the copper and the brass with to weather it. And I tried like a Texstar. And I'm like, oh, what about shoe polish? And, you know, put the shoe polish on the copper and the brass. And the first thing the shoe polish wants to do is, you know, beat away like water on skin. So I'm like, oh, well, that's not working, is it? And then I tried on the leather, and it just stained the leather beautifully. But obviously you got to water it down. But the more you work with it, the more you get used to it. And then I tried it with other props and then figures and then the custom collectible stuff. So thank you, man. I really appreciate it. Okay. Let me cruise on up. Okay. David Define? I hope I pronounced that correctly. Hello, Cosplay Chris. Huge fan of your work. Cosplay creativity is amazing. Keep it up. Always a joy seeing your creativity. Question: what are your top 3 favorite cosplays you have done? Well, first of all, thank you very much for your support, man. I appreciate it. Top 3, Pirate Batman. I have a feeling Samurai Spawn, when it's all said and done, because I did a test fit the other day, and I'm like, I'm actually really happy and at peace with this. So I think Samurai Spawn. And possibly, it's like asking what your top 3 movies are. It changes a lot. Possibly The Witcher, and Nightmare Batman. Yeah. Pirate Batman, I think, because it's so personal to me. So it's got itchy nose. I think it's so personal to me. That's why it's my favorite. But I have a feeling Samurai Spawn will be top 3 when it's all said and done in a couple of weeks. So I've ordered some more light up lenses. I've only got one pair that's in the shrouded helmet at the moment, and I've quickly ordered more. Because I tried polarized sunglass lenses last night in there that I got from Kmart, and I tried to heat form them and pop them in there, and the film, the polarizing film, just all wrinkled up and it melted. I'm like, well, that's not working, is it? So I threw them in the bin. So it's a mad dash to get him done, but we're on schedule. So yeah, man, that's pretty much it. But thank you for your support. I really do appreciate that. Cruise on down here. Joseph, I remember when you bought the Spawn action figure and the costume was just a concept. Yeah, man. So Mum bought the original one for me in 2001, I want to say, from Electronics Boutique. Do you guys remember when EB Games was called Electronics Boutique? That's how long ago it was. And then, yeah, like originally I was going to do exactly how the figure looked. And then the more I started doing my own thing, I'm like, I like doing my own thing, but obviously having the figure as inspiration. So like the shoulder armor, the bicep armor, and the gauntlets, a lot of that is based on the figure itself, and some parts of the belt and torso. And then a good friend of mine, the ever so amazing Billy Mabry, who's a local cosplayer here in Sydney, who does a Crackerjack Phantom. He found the figure mint in box and sent it to me for my birthday, which is very cool. And it's on display in the workshop. So it's cool to have it in box because my original one is in pieces, like limbs have fallen off. So yeah. Andre Romero, hey Chris, what do you think about Johnny Depp possibly being in Beetlejuice 2? I've seen that. like holy shit, that movie's been in development hell for so long. I mean, yeah, it depends on who he's playing. Can you imagine if he was like Beetlejuice's offsider or something? That'd be quite interesting, like really interesting. um, yeah, so I'm all for it, and plus it's Johnny Depp, and I really hope he does have a nice renaissance after everything that's happened. Apparently, he is going to be back as Jack Sparrow because he's had a nice, handsome offer of cash, rightfully so, after everything that's happened. So yeah, we'll see what happens. But I'm all for it, man. I just hope the writing's on point. Obviously, Burton's preoccupied at the moment with the Wednesday series, which I'm very excited for. Mad Dragon 1973. Oh, one other thing. When will we see an update on your logo cosplay? So at the moment, Ryan Jenkins, who's doing the bodysuit, is currently on vacation in the United States on a well-deserved break. Messaged him last week. I'm like, oh, hey, man, any update on the suit? He goes, dude, I'm on vacation at the moment. When I get back to the UK, I'm going to get cracking on it. So that's pretty much where it's at. I'm at a point now where I can't really do anything until the bodysuit arrives. Obviously, the chest emblem's done. Got to do the cape, but I need the bodysuit on my mannequin laid out. Then glue the emblem on the belt. Still tinkering to either have gauntlets or gloves. We'll see. And then that way we can then do the cape. I've got 6 meters of this blue fabric that I bought ages ago at some obscure little fabric shop about 20 minutes from where I live. And as soon as I saw it, I thought that is going to be the Avatar fabric. Bought 6 meters of it, so we've got plenty. And yeah, I've just got to wait on the bodysuit, man. It'll probably be a good couple of months before it's done. So that's where we're at. But yeah, just got to wait on the bodysuit, and then we can get cracking on everything else. Richie Boone, I hope they get Michael Keaton to return as Beetlejuice. Yeah, absolutely, man. Like anyone can play Beetlejuice, but Michael Keaton is Beetlejuice, and he was so damn good. And the fact that he went from Beetlejuice to Batman just proves how good of an actor he is. Joseph, you should do gauntlets with gloves inside. Yeah, definitely. I think that's yeah. Vaped Dex, would you ever do a fashion Batsuit, like one combined with another Batman, for example, Bale and Pattinson, or Keaton and Batfleck? So for my Pattinson upgrade suit, I'm using a cowl with lenses in it, the Hernandez Effects hybrid cowl, as opposed to the Pattinson cowl, because I just feel I don't look good in it. I don't suit the Pattinson cowl. I don't have a chiseled jaw like him. Whereas the Hernandez one, I really do like. I really dig it. I love how it looks on my face. I feel confident and comfortable in it. And with the Pattinson suit, with all the plating, I'm like, that looks really good. I want to combine those two. So I guess you could say that's what I'm doing next. So yeah, it is sort of a mashup in a way, even though it's just the cowl that's different from the rest of the suit, which is all Pattinson from the neck down. So guys, I think I might answer a few more questions and then call it a day on this, because like I said, it's Father's Day here in Australia today. So I'm going to be heading over to mum and dad's for some food and drinks and see them and see what's happening. Jeffrey Warren Park, I hit the stream a bit late. Did you mention the update on Pinhead / Hellraiser yet? Yes, I have, man. So if you go back a bit, I think about like 20 minutes or so, I screen shared the article of Entertainment Weekly and touched on my thoughts on Jamie Clayton as the new Pinhead. I think she looks great. Love the makeup, love the design, love the torn off flesh and like the coin parts embedded in her neck. It looks like a part of the Lament Box, or maybe markings of Leviathan. Who knows? I think it really looks great. So, Yosef, by the way, I changed my username. I was the guy who bet on 30 pounds in 8 months. Is like, oh yeah, EH Anonymous. Yes, that's right. The genetically gifted guy. Yes. Have you put on another 30 pounds of muscle since then, man? All right, I'll answer a few more questions, guys, and then I'll wrap it up for the day. But this has been great. Thank you very much again for joining, everyone. Vaped Dex, you think someone has ever thought of combining the Joker with Jim Carrey's mask? Oh, shit, there's an idea. I guess you could say like the mask is similar to the Joker in a way, especially with the suit. Even though the suit's yellow, it has that kind of almost Batman the Animated Series look with the really wide 90s padded shoulders and stuff like that. That would be a batshit crazy combo. I'm sure someone will do it. Like, people are always mishmashing cosplays. Oh, the Slaughtered Lamb Movie Podcast sends in £4.49. Hello, Darren. Morning, mate. Will you continue to develop the Myers look post ends? Well, thank you for sending that in, guys. Frank and Darren from the Slaughtered Lamb Movie Podcast. Thank you so much. Yeah, man. So I'm tinkering with the idea of when Ends comes out, do I expand upon these and do all? You guys have seen in the new poster of Michael and Laurie back to back. It's all kind of like white and moldy along here, possibly, or I might just get another pair of Legion Safety Workrite replicas, man, and zhazhu them up, see how I go. In terms of the mask, like, obviously I'll keep this as is because Simon just does brilliant work and I don't want to mess that up. You know, he's the man. I would like to have a crack at redoing the Trick or Treat Studios Ends mask. I hear murmurs, though, that apparently you can't rehaul them or something. I don't know. It might be something to do with the paint or the glue. I don't know. But I think because we're in September now, Trick or Treat Studios, pardon me, announced that beginning of September, they're going to reveal all their Halloween Ends line. So obviously the mask, they might do the coveralls, the knife and stuff like that. But I just want to see the mask. I want to see how that looks. But yeah, thanks, Darren. I was mentioning before, man, for some of my Halloween content, and we were talking about before, top 10 effects kills. I'd love to get you and Frank involved. So I want to do top 10 effects kills for Elm Street, Halloween, Friday the 13th, and Hellraiser. So, you know, I'd love to do one with you and Frank, and then maybe one with Jimmy, and then the Wham Boys, see how we go. But thanks so much, man. Darren, you're always supporting me. You and Frank just always fucking brilliant. I missed your stream the other day. Like, it was already uploaded to YouTube, but I'm always trying to catch a stream when you guys are actually doing it. Oh, wait, no, I did actually comment, but I was like a bit late. Wait, was that your stream or was it Dave's the other day? No, it was Dave's, I think. I just missed you and Frank's stream. But yeah, guys, if you haven't already, go subscribe to the Slaughtered Lamb. The guys just do brilliant crackerjack stuff. All right, guys, I think I might call it a day. Again, like I said, it's Father's Day here, so I'm going to head over to Mum and Dad's for some lunch, for some drinks and stuff like that, bit of R&R. But yeah, this has been fun. So if you've just tuned in, yes, I touched on the cancellation of DC Fandom. You can go back, check that out. And also Jamie Clayton as the new Pinhead. So guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Again, I want to make this a weekly thing, especially on the weekend when everyone's home and stuff like that. So it's absolutely brilliant. I definitely am finding my footing now and finding my groove and my rhythm. Jamie Rowe, hey, Chris, love your work. And you probably already addressed it, but how far until the Eddie Munson cosplay? Probably a couple of weeks, man. Badges are all here. I've got to do some patches, order the wig, get my contact lenses, and just a few accessories here and there, like the wallet chain. So I've just essentially got to get my ass into gear and buy the last couple of pieces. So next couple of weeks, I am taking Eddie over to Nova Scotia in Canada for HalCon. I'm a guest over there in October, and I'll be flying out on the 24th. So I've got to get him finished by then, man. So you'll be seeing a lot of him in October, which is perfect segue leading into Halloween. So there we go. So guys, thanks so much for watching. You know, cosplayers do it best and all that jazz. But yeah, I really appreciate you tuning in. Hopefully the Leviathan Axe video will be up next week, but also, you know, I'll be live streaming next week. So, and whatever follows with that. Also, the wonderful Nathan's beautiful house setup, the 3D house poster he made. I'm going to be doing a video on that next week. I was going to do it this week, but I swapped it and did the coveralls this week. So again, guys, thanks so much for tuning in. Have yourselves an absolute cracker weekend. Thanks again. And I'll chat with you guys soon.